What's up, everybody? How's it going tonight? How's it all going? How's it going? Let's see, the chat is popping. Apparently, I need to come on 20 minutes later. People want to actually watch that. Hello? What up, Dave? What up to your Mike? What up, Spike? What up, Pendergast? Winter Star, Munin, Chumbucket. How's it going? Don't go. We love you, Spike. We love Jeff. I did manage to find the I'm not lying to you. Oh, Daily Goat. Goat. I would never lie to you, Spike. Make sure we get you your daily dose of goat. The stream just started. Yes, Munin, it did. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Kind of awesome, fun stuff you guys want to talk about? Let's see. They showed off because I know it's the MCM show in London, because it kind of already started because of the time difference or something. They showed off the Tron Legacy figures, and they finally had the core figure there, and it looks amazing. All those figures look awesome. I cannot wait to get those. Yes, Tron. Marvel Rivals Zombie Mode. I have briefly heard that is it PvE? So it's not like teams, right? It's just like free for all. Pendergast says, tired for sure, was an 11+ hour day today at work, and one more to go before the weekend. You and three other folks against just a horde of zombies? Because that sounds fun. Oh, Toccata and Fugue with Screaming Go. We getting fancy in here. And then Spike was wondering about tostadas and fondue have to do with goats, and he had read that wrong. Zombies, Namor, and Wanda. Okay, that sounds pretty cool. I'm going to have to get cracking on that, since, I don't ever seem to have time to do anything. Well, hopefully you have a nice weekend, Pendergast. I know what it's like working those long hours for sure. What was I getting on about? The MCM thing. So apparently we're gonna get oh, for sure, Spike. I'll let you know. I'll hit you up. What is it? Supposedly we're gonna, so there's 2 more shows coming up overseas. They're going to, and I don't know if they said which one, but they said they were going to announce one more Gamerverse figure and one more comic figure. But they still have one more live stream left for this for the year, and that's where they'll announce a bunch more stuff. So I'm interested to see what the Gamerverse figure is. Maybe we'll finally get our first look at a Marvel Rivals figure, like Jeff. Cowards, Hasbro, just make Jeff. Just do it. Let's see. What else did I see today? Yes, thank you, Winterstar. The Joy Toy Mortarion. I believe that's how Mortarion, whatever. He's one of the Primarchs. He is Death? No, because he's the plague one, right? Jeez, I need to start looking this stuff up before I start talking it. Nurgle, he's the Primarch of Nurgle. Demon Primarch of Nurgle with ancient weapons, the Lantern and Silence. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Silence is his scythe. And then Lantern, I think, is his gun, which is pretty dope. But yeah, it's the... Can you say that on here? Nurgle? I think so. I hope so. But yeah, he is the Mortar. Here, let's see. Death Guard Legion. I knew it was Death something. But yeah, it's the he's known as the Pale King or Death Lord. And they what is it? They're the disease and plague version. Yeah, I mean, they most of the traitor legions, let's see. So the traitor legions are Angron, Fulgrim, Conrad Kurz, Lorgar, Magnus, Mortarion, and Perturbo. Which also doesn't make sense because they seem to have forgotten Horus and Alfarion or Alfarius. And I mean, yeah. The 9 traitor legions are the Emperor's Children, Iron Warriors, Night Lords, World Eaters, Death Guard, Thousand Sons, Alpha Legion, Word Bearers, and the Black Legion, formerly the Sons of Horus. While 4 are dedicated to a single Chaos God, which, let's see, so Mortarion is Nurgle, is Angron, is Khorne. I believe Fulgrim is Slaanesh. And I want to say Magnus is Sneech. I think that's how you pronounce that because it's terrible. Winterstars got me on lockdown here. So Mortarion is Nurgle, Fulgrim are the Emperor's Children, Angron, World Eaters. Oh, yeah, he's listing them off. What they're, yeah. And then the other ones are just dedicated to chaos in general, chaos as a whole. Okay, Emperor's Children, dedicated to Slaanesh, embodying excess perfection. And the Emperor's Children was Fulgrim. Okay, so I was right on that. Iron Warriors, Masters of Siege Warfare and Fortification, dedicated to Chaos Undivided. Night Lords use terror and fear as their primary weapon, dedicated to Chaos Undivided. World Eaters, which is Angron, Unrelenting Berserkers dedicated to Khorne. Death Guard, hardy and resilient warriors dedicated to Nurgle. Thousand Sons, sorcerers and psychers dedicated to Sneech, which is the Magnus. Alpha Legion, Masters of Deception and Infiltration, dedicated to Chaos Undivided. I have this weird feeling that they're going to eventually bring them back, and we're going to find out that they were like working behind the scenes or something, because that was their whole thing, is they were spies and manipulators and stuff. And then there'll be, because there's technically two of them. There's Alfarius and Omegon, and they're twins. What up, Brio? It's good to see you, buddy. And he was also like the shortest of all the Primarchs. So even the members of Alpha Legion will say, I am Alfarius. So nobody ever really knows like what happens to either of the two of them. The word bearers, let's see the checklist that we've got here. Word bearers. But the word bearers, I don't know. But they're Chaos Undivided. In the Black Legion, formerly the Sons of Horus, now a massive force of Chaos Undivided led by Abaddon the Despoiler. And that was obviously Horus's legion. Brio says he got the Joy Toy Marius Caligar and his two dudes with the swords from Space Marine 2. Excited to open them later this week. And did you get Titus, or was it the other two dudes? Because Titus is the only one I got from them. I did get the Caligar, the updated version, because I had the original one, but he was so tiny. The new one is so badass. But yeah, so I think that leaves us, because Perturabo, I believe, is coming. Mortarion. So I think it's Fulgrim, Conrad, Kurz, and Logar are the only three. I think that I just lied. Let me see, because I'm just going to sit here and say a bunch of stuff. Can I even read that? That is a terrible picture. Will it pop up better if I look at it this way? Where did the picture go? I want to see that picture. What the hell? What the hell? Okay, it's not lost. List. Okay, so we've gotten Lion. We're getting Perturabo. We've gotten Russ, Dorn, Sanguinus, Magnus, Mortarion, Gulliman, Angron, Horus, and Alfarius. So we still need Fulgrim, Jagatai Khan, Conrad Kurz, Logar, Vulcan, Corvus, and Ferris Manus, I think. But yeah. 3M says, I got the Sergeant Slaughter Mercer 2-pack, and it's so worth the money, too. It is pretty decent. Zip It Spike, I can't help it. It's my light in here is... You guys want to see my pretty face better? I can just be like this and just be like, "Ha, blind you by the light." Or I could just go like this, and then it'll be real dark and grainy looking and cruddy. So it's fine, whatever. Brio says, I also have Titus, but Gadriel and Carrion, the standard version, but I hacked the heads with LEDs, make them glow. Nice. I realize I have 6 Ultramarines now, even though I'm more of a Salamanders. I have 5 or 4 of whom I've turned into turtles. The lone Salamander is my Sakaran. I know you're just messing with me, Spike. I'm just messing with you back, too. It's all good. Let me see. I'm going to double check. Because I feel like I've goofed on something. Okay. So we got... What is the one that I'm not 100% sure on? And then, you can't forget Constantine Valdor, who was the not Primarch. Where is the one? Okay, so who is that? Okay, so that is Perturabo. Okay, because I always because the he is the Iron Warriors, and that's the one thing that always messes me up is there's the Iron Warriors, and then there's the Iron Hands. And Iron Hands is Ferris Manus. And he literally has hands made out of iron because that's like it's kind of like a sort of like I gotta figure this out here real quick. Ferris Manus. He's a master smith. Where's the thing? There it is. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Come on. Okay, that'll work. Wow, you guys' thing needs to just not suck. He was known as the Gorgon, Master Smith. He created the sword that he created for Fulgrim, and the bolter he crafted for Vulcan. Said to have a barrel designed to look like the gaping mouth of a dragon. Ferris's hands were covered in the metallic substance known as necrodermis, and he needed no hammer or flames to create beauty or flame to create beauty through metallurgy, using only his exceptionally powerful hands to mold and shape molten metal. Ferris forged his closest bond with his brother Fulgrim, but this relationship ultimately ended in tragedy as Fulgrim fell to chaos during the Horus Heresy. Yeah. So it's kind of a cool little backstory on that dude, and that's the one that I'm kind of the most yeah, I don't know. The Iron Warriors, I think the Iron Warriors all do that though. The Iron Warriors. let me find it real quick here. So they have a strong predilection for replacing parts of their bodies with cybernetic enhancements. Wait, is it the Iron? No, this is the Iron Hands. That's the Iron Warriors. That's why I was like, this isn't making sense. Okay, let's see here. The Iron Hands will believe blah 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 blah. Human flesh is weak and easily corruptible, and strive to replace their organic bodies with more pure bionic substitutes, thus closely emulating the faith of the Adeptus Mechanicus cults. The Iron Hands were born, blah blah blah. Let's see. Where is it? Unique identity forged. Their belief decay. I do want to say that they have. I think they have their hands all replaced. The Iron Hands are obsessively driven to replace the weak biological matter all humans are born with into cold, unyielding iron, a practice that begins when a neophyte is initiated into the chapter as a full battle brother. The initiate's left hand is removed and replaced with a bionic version in a ritual inspired by a tale of their Primarch when his own hands were encased in living metal following a legendary battle with a great metal serpent on ancient Medusa. Some initiates sever their own hand during the ritual, while others plunge it into the searing hot lava flowing from the mountains of Medusa, bearing the pain and transforming it to hate. More of his organs and limbs are replaced with bionic augmentics, each inherently superior to the original. To some outsiders, this is a supreme blasphemy. For many of the organs eventually discarded are those that make a Space Marine what he is, and which are the direct inheritance of the Emperor and the Primarch. Nevertheless, a battle brother of the Iron Hands has reached several standard centuries of service, is likely to appear almost entirely mechanical. Every visible scrap of flesh replaced with gleaming, oiled, and burnished steel. A few standard centuries more, and the warrior's biological body might consist of little more than his brain and his major internal organs. It is said that some Iron Hands, those that survive the rigors of war and their own hate-fueled self-mutilation, are no more than a brain encased in a ceramite shell. So, they do have Iron Hands, I guess, technically. 3M says, I've also seen people trying to sell off the Sergeant Slaughter on eBay too, which is kind of dumb because I think he's a cool secondary slaughter. I have seen the movie Man with the Iron Fists. Wasn't it Raza from the Wu-Tang Clan? It's a great movie. The second one's not as good as the first one, but it's still fun. And I like it for what it is. But yeah. They sound like masochistic cyborgs. Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of what I gathered from it. But yeah, so we're getting closer to having all the Primarchs, which is cool. My SHF MVC Spider-Man got canceled. Bandai got F'd by Marvel. Well, so I'm still trying to figure out what the deal is, right? Because it sounds like it's no problem for us. Like, we're going to get them here, apparently, still. But I don't understand why. You would almost think that it would be the opposite. Like, we would get screwed because Hasbro's making those, all those figures. I don't know. Who knows? I think there's enough room for everyone to do it, too. I've really been contemplating the last couple of days on like what I think will be my top 10 for the year. So Brio says, according to my supplier, Bandai's only allowed to sell it inside Japan. Weird. I think the guy that I get my stuff from, though, I think he gets it from Japan, so I should be okay. I guess we'll see. And again, why only Spider-Man and not Cyclops? Doesn't make any sense to me, but I don't know. Who knows? Maybe those who can sell it outside are resellers. That figure is going to jump up in price. Oh, I have no doubt about that. No doubt about that. Maybe I should get 2. No. Pendergast says, I picked up a second retro card Viper to put the alternate Mercer head on and have him hanging out with the rest of my Vipers. Nice. And why only Spidey? Our theory, it's a Sony thing. Which doesn't... Don't stop it, Brio. I don't need to. I don't think Sony has... I don't think they technically have anything to do with the toys. I think that's a thing. Because I think... so, like... I think all merchandise is still through Marvel. Yeah, no, I know that Sony only has the rights, has the movie rights to Spider-Man, but there could be like other things that tie things together. So, like, Marvel can use Spider-Man in animated series, and that's actually why the Marvel Zombies show is a show, because they couldn't use Spider-Man otherwise. So, you fine Twitch users, go get that guy. Get rid of him. Don't click that link, Spike. Don't do it. Don't do it. Self-control. Don't do it. But yeah, I don't know. I know I'm not the boss of you. I was just making a friendly suggestion. That's all. Brio says, we were just joking about it. It's just funny to blame Sony for everything. Yeah, well, I mean, blame Sony. Blame Canada. Appreciate it, Spike. Again, I don't understand why what is their algorithm where they're like, let's go get this guy who's got 14 people watching. I mean, even like Twitch, there's gotta, let me look real quick. I think it should tell me if I look. Let's see here. Where did it go? There it is. It's gonna download because I don't ever go on Twitch. I find Twitch to be, jeez. It's like, hey, remember that time you turned your Wi-Fi off? You should probably turn it back on so your stuff downloads faster. Spike says, huh, gone already. Because I mean, what? Well, Spike, maybe you can see. I don't know. Does it show on Twitch how many people are watching on Twitch? Because it's going to take forever for my phone to re-download Twitch, apparently. But yeah, I'm just curious how that goes. I think there's like 3 of you. It's like Pendergast and and Spike and why am I having a brain fart? Winter Star's watching on there. Yeah, it looks like just like 3 or 4 of you guys. Okay, 4. So yeah, so like what? There's 4 people watching on Twitch. Where does their stupid algorithm go? Let's go on this guy and like spam for clicks. I should have an ASMR channel if you're just reading Warhammer books. GRIF Riffs is always relaxing. I can feel my stress melting away. That's my wife tells me all the time. She's always like, when she's like tired, she's like, just talk to me. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should just like do something like this, and then just be like, just pitch black, right? And me just sitting back, just reading a Warhammer book. Be like, let me tell you a story about the grim, dark future, where all that is known is war. Brian was like, that looks great. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, they probably do go for lower view counts to try and boost GRIF SMR. Blanking on who was Twitch watching. Yeah, like I said, it's still downloading. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll just film a bunch of videos of me reading Warhammer stuff. I was staring at the part of the me shaved like a cat who has been to the vet. Nobody wants to look at that. 3M, I have actually, or no, I haven't read the Predator versus Spider-Man. I did pick up the trade of the Wolverine versus Predator. And it was okay. I kind of hated the whole like jumping around through time. Because it felt like it detracted from the story. Like I just would have rather have had just one long set in the same moment of just Wolverine versus Predator versus him back in whatever, the early 1900s, and then during the war, and then during Weapon X, and then I just thought that was kind of weird. Yeah, now my brain's turning about the whole reading. I love it. You have to edit in segments where you bring out and pose a figure or two to the sounds of war drums. Oh. Spike, are you on the good shit? Winter Star, maybe and I haven't had time to look, but maybe you might just know right off the top of your head. Did they make, where did it go? Have they made a figure of Garvel Loken from the Luna Wolves? because I really kind of want to figure that dude now. Because I don't see it. I don't think they've done. I mean, they've done a bunch of Sons of Horus, but I don't think they did him at all. Because, let me see. Oh, it just looks like a lot of customs out there, but I'm not seeing. I mean, I guess that could technically be him. But yeah. Do you think uh, okay, Bryo says, "Do you think Joy Tay will make Emperor of Mankind? Is he a tabletop figure? Don't hate me. I don't know." No, it's okay. So here's the crazy thing, Bryo. I don't know anything about the game. I've never played it. I never knew anybody personally who played it. So I just always admired it from afar visually. It really hasn't been until maybe the last like 3 years now where I've kind of started diving into the lore. I mean, I really like the stuff that I have read. But no, as far as I understand, there is not a miniature of the Emperor, either just as himself or the entombed in the Iron Throne or the Golden Throne or whatever. The thing is from what I've understood with Joy Toy, they can't make any figures unless it's of something that's already got an official mini, because that's what they have to use. Brian says, I only know a tiny bit about it, but you'll have to forgive me. I really don't know some of the abbreviations. I have no idea what IIRC means. I'm so behind on like shorthand, but they have purposefully tried to keep him hidden according to the lore. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Bryo says, same here. I've just admired from afar, and the Joy Toys made me love them more. In fact, seeing your Joy Toys made me buy them. I know it is. Oh, if I remember correctly, perfect. I will try and lock that into my brain now. Yeah, so that's from what I've understood is that they only do them if there is a mini. But being that they are really diving into the Horus Heresy and like the 30K story, they very well could do an Emperor. I would really like it if they did do an Emperor, because he would be awesome. I mean, Space King, Space God, right? I mean, he would have to easily be like a 12-inch figure. So, because he's just enormous. Like, Warhammer Emperor height. The Emperor of Mankind's true height is unknown, as his physical appearance is a psychic projection that can change depending on the observer. While he can appear as an ordinary human, he is most often depicted as a gigantic figure, with some sources citing a height of around 14 feet. Space Marine 2 license lets them do some things without minis, like Titus. Yeah, and that's but that's like a whole separate license, because I think that's why we got that new Caligar, was because of that, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I mean, so here's what this says. Variable size. His height is subjective and can be altered at will, allowing him to appear different to different people. Average human height. In some instances, he is described as being a normal human-sized man, especially when the psychic filters are removed by those with strong psychic abilities. Gigantic figure. Often he is shown as a towering figure, sometimes 14 feet tall or even larger, to project an image of godhood and authority. Ultimately, the Emperor's true form is unknown and unknowable, as his power allows him to present whatever image he chooses. But I think if we did in fact get a figure, it would look an awful lot like this, and I would be okay. In my head canon, the Emperor's real face is Robo's with his Arkansas accent, and Horace is Wade from Unparalleled Universe. Brio, you are crazy. I love it. It's hilarious. But yeah, so I can't remember. Let's see here. So there is like I think there's like a whole kit that you can buy, or it's a custom or something. But this dude, I've seen other versions of this, and yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I would want, because it's about as epic as you can get. Might have to grab a McFarlane Titus. Not sure about going down the Joy Toy route until maybe Tyberos. Yeah. That's what Spike says. And then Winter Star says, the moment we get Tyberos, I'll get you one. But so like there's the okay. Okay, so there's the Legion Astartes. Let me just do this, because this is okay. So there's 20 chapters. And this isn't going to work, is it? Okay. So there's the Raven Guard, the Blood Angels, the Dark Angels, Iron Hands, Salamanders, Space Wolves, White Scars, Black Templars, Death Guard, Ultramarines, Alpha Legion, Thousand Suns, World Eaters, Imperial Fists. I think that was all of them, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was all of the main ones, right? But I don't. So, like, I'm gonna try and speed run this. Ready? I'm not even gonna give the breakdown of who they are. Like, so like I'll just do this first one, and then you'll have an idea of what I'm talking about. So there's the Absolvers. They're a loyalist Space Marine chapter that is a successor of the Blood Angels, but of unknown founding, enigmatic and dour. The Absolvers are based and now trapped in the Gilead system due to the birth of the Great Rift. Okay, so I'm not going to list all of that little side stuff there, but I'm going to try my best to not butcher these. But there's the Scipiters, the Adamantine Lions, Adulators, Altar Brethren, Angel Guard, Angels in Carmine, Angels Eradicant, Angels Ethereant, Angels Excelsius, Angels Numerous, Angels of Absolution, Angels of Damnation, Angels of Defiance, Angels of Fire, Angels of Fury. I'm not going to say angels again. So there's Angels of Iron, Light, Penance, Purgatory, Redemption, Repentance, Retribution, of the Grail, Vengeance, Vigilance, Wrath, Penitent, Profure, Pursuant, Redeemed, Repentant, Resplendent, Revenant, Sanguine, Vermilion, Vindictant, Hammers, Astral Bears, Astral Blades, Astral Claws, Fists, Hawks, Knights, Spears, Atlantean Spears, Auroric, Patricians, Aurora Chapter, Aurora Talons, Avengers, Avenging Sons. So you get the point. What was in the outfield in that one movie, Tony? What? I appreciate it. I'm hoping he won't be too terribly expensive, but I'm not versed into it. I don't what was in the outfield in that one movie? I don't know what you're talking about. But anyways, so you get that was just the A chapters. So these are all like successor chapters. So again, there's like for B, there's the Benedictors, the Black Consuls, the Black Crusaders, the Black Dragons, Black Guards, so on and so forth. Oh, Angels in the outfield. So you get what I'm saying is there's a bajillion different successor chapters, but like how many? Spike, you're great. I love it. Thank you. Now, not every single one of those is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I could be totally wrong, but they're not all canon, technically. I could be wrong. But like this, like the Black Vipers is a loyalist Space Marine chapter and successor of the Salamanders. It is a chapter composed wholly of primary Space Marines and was raised during the ultimate founding of blah, 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 blah. It doesn't mean that's a legit like canon chapter. It could be, I don't know. But I guess what I'm getting at is I would love to have more of some of those chapters, specifically the Carcharodons. Now, if we're talking about just the 20, the main legions, the Space Wolves are definitely probably my top. And then I would probably say the Dark Angels and then Ultramarines. But yeah, if we're talking about successor chapters, the Carcharodons are badass. You got the Space Wolves. These are the Space Sharks. Their armor, for one. Their armor is badass. I mean, look at that. And I mean, like, it's like a shark jaws around there. It's just so unbelievably, crazily badass. And then some of them have like sweet helmets. All hail Space Marine Jeff. That's right. How did you know that that was what the name of the Primarch was? Even though there's not a Primarch. But I would totally vote for. I mean, this one's got like saw blade hands that look like shark heads. So this is why I say this, is because this is a actual book. So the Carcharodons do exist. And I would really, really like it if they made some of the Carcharodons. But I've only shown you stupid ads. So this is unconfirmed, but they are supposed successors of the Raven Guard. I'll read you their little thing here. Successor chapters. None but the sources remain unreliable. Carcharodons Astra, and various low Gothic derivations of the same name, such as Space Sharks, are used both in historical records and Badab war accounts. The Primarch would be Corvus Corax. The Chapter Master, Shade Lord Tiberos, the Red Wake. They call him the Red Wake. Their fortress monastery is the battle barge Nicor. Let me see if I can't find the information on this. All right, where is it here? I really need to find this. This info on there. I don't care about the battles. Okay, let me see here. All right, where is it? Come on, come on, come on, come on. This has got to be coming up here. Where is it here? Come on. Okay, I think this should be coming up here. Okay, well, I'll read you real quick about the, let's see, only thing is we got to have cool look if figures are made, not the basic gray-ass armor from back in the day. Agreed. Which that look has mostly been replaced with what you see now, but it still pops up. Yeah, of course. Shade Lord Tybros, the Red Wake. Tybros, known as the Reaper Lord of the Void, is the current Shade Lord of the Carcharodon's Astra and commander of the fabled battle barge Nicor. He also serves as company master of the Carcharodon's elite first company known as the Red Brethren. Tybros was the force commander of the Carcharodons during their unlooked for and savage intervention in the Bad War, wearing an archaic suit of Terminator armor, which made his rapid combat style all that more impressive, and wielding a pair of unique gauntlet-based power weapons dubbed Hunger and Slake. He often led his so-called Red Brethren Terminators of the First Company in bloody assault after bloody assault, carving a path of mangled corpses through the rebel forces of the Badab campaign. Each of these gauntlets incorporate the howling adamantium teeth of a chain fist with multiple talon-like blades of a lightning claw. If these extraordinary weapons do exist, they would go a long way to explain the tales of butchery that surround this nigh mythical Lord Reaper of the Void. I really want to find this stuff about this Nicor, because this thing is crazy. It's got to be. They've got to have it here. Okay, maybe here it's coming up, I think. Yes, okay. The Nicor was the Carcharodon's notorious flagship during the Badab War and serves as the chapter's mobile fortress monastery. Though nothing is known about the vast majority of the Carcharodon's fleet, certain records unearthed in the Segmentum Pacificus fleet of Hydrofer detail at least one of their warships, the Nicor, a cadre of activist savants in the employ of the Battle Fleet Pacificus studying these deck plans identified its make as a heavily modified Carbidus class Grand Cruiser of the Great Crusade and Horus Heresy eras. If any of its sister ships still exist in the Imperium, they are exceedingly rare. The Nicor is slightly smaller than the traditional battle barges of more conventional Space Marine chapters, but if the records are to be believed, the ship is both swift and lethal. Its armor is comparable to the battle barge of the ship, sports far stronger void shields, rivaling those of an Imperial Navy battleship. Okay. I got to get to the good part. Where's this stuff here? Why did it not say that? Okay, hold on a second here. Okay. The Nicor is the flagship of the Space Sharks, a brutal and reclusive Space Marine chapter. The ship's name, Nicor, in Old English word for water monster, reflecting the chapter's shark life theme. The Beast, a monstrous live shark, is kept in a giant tank of inky black water on the Nicor. The presence of this predatory creature reflects the savage, primordial nature of the space sharks. While the beast is widely referred to as a megalodon, some fan theories propose it may not be the extinct prehistoric shark, but rather a highly evolved or cloned shark species. This is due to the advanced blah, 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 blah. So they literally have a megalodon in the bowels of their ship. Like I was this thing. Um, what was it? I was reading this thing. They were talking basically how while on the ship that Tybros just will sit there and stare into this tank, and the other people behind him or whatever, they'll see like this big gigantic shape move through the water and stuff. Like, talk about like what do the kids call that, aura farming? I just saw Brio. Oh, Winter started sending me pictures. I better go look real quick. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Ooh, that's nice. That's real nice. I need that. uh, what in the Ace Ventura? Deep in the bowels of their ship, it's just Jeff making Jaws music notes. Da 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 da. It's pretty good. Gotta admit, right, Spike? That's pretty good. I've been practicing. But yeah, no. And I was just so like I was thinking about this the other night because like all this crazy stuff keeps coming out. Like, that's right, John Bailey. You better watch your ass. So like now there's rumors flying around that Henry Cavill may in fact be playing is it Aegon in the new Game of Thrones thing? And I'm like, are they ever gonna let him work on the Warhammer stuff? So like he's in the he's injured right now, but he's in Highlander. He's in the Voltron movie. He's gonna be, in God knows what else. And now they're talking about him potentially, possibly being in Game of Thrones. And I'm like, are we ever gonna see this Warhammer show? And like the more and more I think about it, I mean, like as badass as live action would be, I would 100% be okay with having just the like um just a really badass CGI TV series that could just go on forever basically. Because again, we're it's October. We're literally 2 months away from when they said that they were starting to work on it last year. When Henry Cavill came out the day that Secret Levels dropped and they had that Warhammer episode, that was last December, if I'm not mistaken. So it's been almost 2 years now since they announced that Games Workshop and Amazon were working together to make a Warhammer series. I'm like, when? Like, let's do it. I mean, I don't want this to be another Avatar where, we gotta wait, or Tron. Let's wait 14 years to make the sequel after we waited 30 years to make the first sequel. Like, let's get going. Because I mean, I see some of the CGI stuff that they put out. Because like, what was the most recent trailer that they just put out? It's like, that's gorgeous. Give me that as a TV show. I don't care. I don't care if I see one famous person in it. They can have all the famous people they want lend their voices. I don't care if I see their faces or not. I mean, realistically, you could go the entire series without ever seeing a Space Marine with their helmet off, and I could care less.
I mean, but that's just me. I want
more Warhammer, like media. And I refuse to pay Warhammer or Games Workshop for whatever I don't even know what their thing is called. Their little channel where they have people put out, put things out. So I'm 100% that's just me. I just want more Warhammer, please. That's all. I wish somebody would make more comic books. I know Marvel put out the Caligar miniseries, and they did the Battle Sisters miniseries, but that was it. That was like all that they did. And I know that in the past that they've done, comics, but it's almost impossible to get your hands on any of them without paying a ton of money to get them, because they don't put them out very often. Just like, what is it, there's another one. I gotta remember to kind of look. Is it Militarum Handbook? Oh, it's the Imperial Infantryman's Handbook. Like, I really want a copy of that, and I don't want to pay $100 for a copy. It's like, why are you guys not, like, just constantly reproducing it? Because apparently they've re-released them a bunch of times from 2003 to 2020. It looks like they've released them 6 times. Or maybe it's 7 now. But like, I really don't want to pay. Go home. Oh, that's Australia, so that's not even. I was gonna say, go home, Amazon. You're drunk. But that's Amazon.au. But I mean, regardless, you go on eBay. Everybody wants $100 for it, and I just want one. I don't know why that's so hard. And I mean, I do understand that, like, there's like an aspect to it where people, wait, what? Is this the actual? Oh, see, that's not even. Stop it. Why did you do that? I don't want that either. I'd love how much. The Amazon UK has a copy for £675. It's just like, what? Pendergast, I was heavy into the 40K and heresy books, but a couple that I read back to back ended up being really disturbing to me, and I haven't picked one up since. Still dig the look of the 40 stuff, a whole bunch of 40K stuff. That's all good. I knew what you meant. Yeah, well, I mean, it's the grim dark future, man. There's some gnarly stuff in there for sure. I mean, if you I do not need to buy a 1-to-1 duck. You mean a real duck? Well, so 3M, it's literally the aftermarket. And I'm guessing that they must have just, and I always miss it apparently. I bet you money that this just dropped. Yeah, of course it did. I'm never, ever, ever going to be able to get my hands on one of these because of that fucking resellers. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you don't need to, but you could. Yeah. So this is what I'm talking about. They just dropped this book. I don't know when it came out. Um, but it says 2025 and it's $100 already. And that sucks because I would just really, really like to have one for my collection and be able to read it. And I mean, it should only cost me $40. I shouldn't have to pay an extra $60 to get my hands on one of these. It's the Imperial Infantryman's book that like just dropped this at some point. I would guess probably in the last like 3 or 4 months. Um, because yeah, it's let me see. This should I'm guessing is gonna tell me sold out. Um, let's see. Yeah, these guys are trying to sell it for $100 too. Sweet. Um, I wonder. I at this point, I'd like to know when it even came out. Well, yeah, I don't. Okay, where is it here? Well, yeah, none of this is telling me. That's the old one. I don't want to know about the old one. I want to know about the new one. um, could name it the Mallard Maelstrom. I appreciate it, Winter Star. It just sucks. Um, and again, I would just like to know at least when it came out, because then because now I feel like I'm gonna have to wait. Like if I can't find one now, I feel like I'm gonna have. But Brio, where am I? Poor Dave. or duck and beaches. God, that's awesome, Spike. Uh, oh, that's hilarious. You're great, Brio. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. That could be a Sea of Thieves book. You're that big ass eye or whatever that's in the background. It looks like it was a holiday pre-order in 2024. A lot of the reviews on Reddit say 10 months ago. Of course. Man, stupid. I mean, I personally, I even think $40 is a bit steep, but I'd rather pay $40 than 100. I mean, all right, Pendergast, have a good one. We'll see you next time, dude. Try and have a good day tomorrow. looking forward. Keep looking forward. Looking towards the weekend. I can't talk anymore. But yeah, it's just such a bummer. It's just like I feel like that's one of those books that should just be in constant. Yeah, I'm hardly sanguineous. Hardly. But yeah, I feel like that's just one of those books that should just be constantly available. But whatever. I don't know. I just think it's funny because I guess from what I've read about it, it's like it's the actual handbook that the normal military guys carry, and it's just full of a bunch of bullshit to like rah you up and stuff. Because like if you really know anything about like the Astra Militarum, that they're like the most expendable of expendable, like like they're the first ones in and they don't come out usually. There's like a handful of them that ever getting went sanguetch. um but yeah, and is it weird to me that the Carcharodons would be the the successor chapter of the Raven Guard? I feel like it would make so much more sense if they were like the successor chapter of like the Blood Angels or the Space Wolves or something like that. I don't know. That's just me. But yeah. Yeah. So much Warhammer goodness. I should just turn this into a Warhammer show, because that's usually what I end up talking about. It's either Warhammer or Alien. Maybe it can be 50-50. So I've been really diving deep down Alien rabbit holes now too. It was very interesting. I'll just do this little tidbit about Alien, and then we'll call it a night here, since we're coming up on an hour and a half. I figured I'd give you guys a little bit of extra since I wasn't on last week, and I was a little late today, so give you guys a little extra. But so like they basically everybody now says that Alien versus Predator isn't canon, and while they're not the greatest movies, after I saw what I saw, to me it makes perfect sense that they are still canon, and that everything we know about the aliens and the predators, because I mean obviously like with Predator, right, like it isn't going to be until the new movie comes out that we've ever had a Predator movie set in the future. They've all been set in like present day time. So Predator 2, Aliens versus Predator, Alien versus Predator Requiem, Predators, the Predator, Prey was set in the past. So we've never really had one that's been set in the future. I wouldn't even necessarily know where to put the Killer of Killers, because we don't really know, because they were all three people were taken from completely different time periods, so we don't know when they were on Thawed, because they were on an alien planet with highly technologically advanced creatures. Anyways, so they were saying, like, and I mean I've always known this, that it wasn't, so everybody always goes, well, I thought Wayland died in Prometheus, or I thought Wayland died in Alien versus Predator. How did he die in Prometheus? Well, because that's not like the Alien versus Predator was his name Michael Bishop Wayland, and then the one from Prometheus is is Peter Wayland. Or no, I'm sorry. Charles. Charles Bishop Wayland is what his name is in Alien versus Predator. Peter Wayland is the one from Prometheus, and Michael Wayland is the one from Alien 3. So, eyelash in my eye, sorry. So there's that. So Peter Wayland is the son of Charles Wayland. And if you remember at the end of Alien versus Predator Requiem, the Predator's weapons have been sent to Yutani. Well, I guess from everything that I've always understood now is that when it comes to the Wayland-Yutani Corporation, it's mostly ran by Yutani, which we've kind of now learned in Alien Earth. So I'm going to start choosing to believe that Alien versus Predator and Alien versus Predator Requiem, while not great movies, are canon. I also choose to believe that David did not create the xenomorph. Because it's the same concept of the modified, genetically created whatever versions of the xenomorph that we see in Romulus. If you're familiar with any of the comic books, you do know that at many different instances in said comic books that they have genetically created their own xenomorphs. In fact, they created the Xenomorph King, which went on a rampage and was eventually taken out by a queen. But neither here nor there. I'm going to choose to believe that the two Alien versus Predator movies are canon, because now to me it makes more sense now that it wasn't Charles or Peter, because I feel that technically they both really wanted to help humanity. I think it's Yutani that's the real villain, and that they're the ones that wanted to have the xenomorph and the Yautja technology for their weapons divisions. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that I bet that the Wayland company didn't have a weapons division, and that the Yutani company was the one that did have the weapons division. And I think that the reason why the Wayland company was bought was for their synthetic technology. But that's just me. Yeah, 3M, I do actually like the first Alien versus Predator movie. I liked aspects of the Requiem, but still not super great. And Brio, I did read the Alien Avengers comic, which to me was crazy that it was like a pseudo sequel to Prometheus and Alien Covenant. I feel like there was a lot of things left, because I mean, obviously it's a what if book. I don't know why they didn't just label it as what if, but there's a lot of things that I wish I would have gotten a little bit more from, something that I had been wanting for a long time, because obviously for decades Dark Horse was working with every comic book company under the sun to do crossovers. I mean, we had Aliens and Predator with the Darkness and Witchblade, we had Aliens with Judge Dredd, we had Aliens and Predator in the DC universe, we had, I mean, it's untold how many crossovers that they did, but never with Marvel. And I've always had these really interesting thoughts in my head of what would happen, if so and so got a face hugger on them. So like you go way back to, I don't know what year it came out, but they did the Superman versus Aliens book. And at one point, because I think it was 2 or 3 issues, Clark gets a face hugger on him. He's got a chest burster inside of him. And he's been in deep space and nowhere near his sun, so he's essentially human. And then all of a sudden, like the end of the movie, like, or at the end of the book, he ends up going outside, and um it's the sun, and he repowers up, and he basically like coughs out the chest burster. But then I think he smushed it. But I go, well, what would happen if the chest burster, because we know that it like takes attributes from its host. Like, what would happen if a chest burster actually like fully grew? I mean, even if Superman was in a yellow sun, and it would never be able to bust through. Well, again, we don't know. If it was just a normal xenomorph, I would never be able to just bust through his rib cage and out his chest. It just wouldn't happen. It might cause him pain and discomfort, but there'd be no way it would be able to birth itself, other than climbing up through um, the windpipe. Because as we now know that, and I've always thought this was weird, because I kind of always thought it was putting it in your stomach, because I feel like you wouldn't necessarily feel something in your stomach versus your lungs. And we now know, as of Alien Earth, that they do actually implant it into your lungs. I feel like the whole time you had it in there, you'd just be coughing because there'd be something in your lungs. But anyways, but what I'm getting at is what I've always wanted to see was, I thought to myself, I'm like, well, the smartest thing like a alien could do would be to somehow cocoon Wolverine, right? And I mean, granted, it wouldn't be able to bust through its rib cage because it's coated in adamantium. But if there was another way that it could leave, you could just constantly like put an egg in front of Wolverine and just have him spit out an army of, you know, Wolverine xenomorphs. Like, would they come out as like? And I know it's a video game and it's not canon or anything, but if you remember in Mortal Kombat, the xenomorph, it's basically like a second skin for Baraka, but they make it seem like, the xenomorph came out of one of Baraka's species, so it's got the blades that come out of its arms, something like the claws coming out of the xenomorph, and then it would have a healing factor and heightened senses and stuff like that. Or what if same thing goes for the Hulk or Cyclops? How would that work? I mean, a xenomorph technically doesn't have eyes, but it does have the skull behind the dome. I mean, or maybe does the second mouth open up and shoot lasers out of it? I always just thought it'd be kind of interesting. And I know that in the Hickman thing, they did show us that, Mr. Sinister was gene splicing this and that. And, he basically somehow turned himself into a xenomorph with a bunch of mutant abilities, like I think Colossus's metal skin, Nightcrawler's teleportation. I can't remember who else's powers he had, but there's some cool stuff. Just didn't give me quite what I was expecting. Again, I'm thinking of like, what if Spider-Man got one? And that's the other thing too, is like, would if the Hulk got one, would the xenomorph, gosh, stupid eyelashes, would the xenomorph, would it change too, or would it always just be like a Hulk xenomorph? Winter is fading. Night, COJ, be kind to one another. Have a good one, Winter Star. We'll see ya. Greetings, Cerber. Ate. You'll have to forgive me if I completely butchered that. But yeah, I don't know. 3M says, have a good one, Spike. We'll catch you. 3M says, xenomorph with Kryptonian abilities, or it would destroy Superman from the inside somehow. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not quite sure. But all interesting things to think of. But yeah. Safe to assume the xenomorphs would infiltrate the skull race somehow beforehand. That would be interesting too. Could a xenomorph then shapeshift? Oh. Oh, I'm glad I'm not rid of you yet. You're one of my favorites, Spike. We have a nice banter. But yeah, so it would be interesting to see how that all played out. But yeah, who knows? But I think I just saw that they're going to do another. I think it's Aliens versus Captain America. I did. It is Aliens versus Captain America, which will be interesting to see what time period. That's such a cool cover. What time period that will fall from, because judging by that cover, I'd say World War II. But who knows? Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing too, is like, I know that like in the Aliens versus Avengers book, they totally have like something ends up happening and Tony Stark gets one inside of him. I'm like, bro, you're wearing an Iron Man suit. Like, I feel like the xenomorph would not be able to get inside, or the facehugger would not be able to get inside of the suit. But that's just me. I don't know. It seems weird, but who knows? But based on how this one looks, and if it's taking place in the past, and we know that the Predators story, because I know that there's like the Predator Kills the Marvel Universe book, which is actually going to wrap everything up, because it was the Wolverine, Black Panther, and Spider-Man books, and it basically revolves all around the Spider-Man, well, more so the Spider-Man and Black Panther books, because the Predators have come to Wakanda to steal vibranium to use to make weapons. And then in the Spider-Man book, it's like Spider-Man versus Kraven versus Predators. And then the Predators end up taking Kraven with them because he takes out one of the Predators, and they're like, you're one of us, basically. You're a hunter. So the Predator Kills the Marvel Universe is when that clan of Predators, all juiced up on vibranium, come back with Kraven to fight whatever. So, given how xenomorphs practically have adaptive DNA, what's to stop someone from maybe seeing what makes them tick and try to implement their DNA into human biology? Well, and I think that's like a big thing of what they've been. I think that's kind of the end goal of what, at least in the movies, because I think they really, if you watch Alien Romulus and then Alien Earth, a little bit in Alien Earth, but more so in Alien Romulus, they really touch on that. So it would be interesting to see, because I think that's the whole point is they want to use them because they know they're so resilient, and that human biology is not, we're not meant to be in space. So I think that's the whole point is they want to try to implement their resilience into the human genome to make us more space resilient, essentially, and make the terraforming and whatever a lot more practical. It wouldn't have to terraform as much. You'd still be able to have people survive on a planet without, full-blown oxygen and water and all that stuff. So, but I wouldn't want to see what the reproductive cycle is like. That could get real messy real quick. But anyways, with that being said, it's now almost an hour and 40 minutes in. And I'm going to go to bed because I have to work tomorrow. So, again, I thank you guys, all 8 of you, who have hung around this long and listened to me ramble about nothing. I appreciate all you guys. I appreciate all you that are going to rewatch this, and I appreciate all of you that have watched and are not any longer watching, and I cannot speak anymore. So, yeah, again, I thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. You guys know the drill. You can find me here, usually on Wednesdays, always for the most part on Thursdays. And you head over to Dave's socials for all the other links and stuff if you want to donate for Extra Life. You want a cool t-shirt, get yourself a COJ shirt, GRIF RIFFS shirt, Raccoon Mafia, all that stuff. Head on over to prowrestlingtees.com, search Dave Wonder. You'll be able to find him. And then let's see. If you're local, you can come visit me in Stillwater, Minnesota at Minton Box Toys. And then, yeah. Trying to think here. Trying to think if I'm missing anything else. I don't think I am. So, one more for the road. And yeah, thanks for hanging out, Brio. It was nice seeing you. Spike, we'll see you next time. But yeah, you guys know the drill. Throw them horns up, and we'll see you guys next time. I'm sure you all heard that. It did not feel good. Clicky clack, I'm getting old.